Samsung's back with the Galaxy Z Flip 7, and this time, they're not playing it safe. For the first time ever, we get a full-sized cover screen that actually looks modern, clean, functional, and yeah, about time, right? But while Samsung's finally leveling up the Flip, Motorola's already been there, done that, and now they're taking it even further with the Razr 60 Ultra. This thing's slick, sharp, and easily Motorola's most refined foldable yet. This isn't just about looks or specs anymore, it's about who mastered the flip game, Samsung or Motorola. Only one owns 2025. Let's break it down. Let's talk design, because when it comes to foldables, size does matter. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 is super slim, just 6.5mm when unfolded and 13.7mm folded. You barely feel it in your pocket. On the other side, the Razr 60 Ultra is a bit chunkier, 7.2mm unfolded and 15.7mm when shut. Not a deal breaker, but yeah, the Flip takes the edge for sleekness. And when it comes to weight, Flip 7 keeps it light at 188 grams, while the Razr tips the scale at 199 grams. That's 11 grams of difference, but when you're flipping all day, you'll notice it. So in terms of design, Samsung's playing the minimal card, while Motorola's going for bold and solid. Depends what your vibe is. When it comes to build, both phones bring the premium game. You're getting an aluminum frame on both the Flip 7 and the Razr 60 Ultra. Strong, light, and built to handle daily wear. But the back is where things get interesting. Samsung goes with classic glass, keeping it shiny and clean. Motorola? They're flexing with a vegan leather back. Smooth, grippy, and seriously luxurious in hand. It's got that soft touch feel that just hits different. As for durability, both come with IP48 water resistance, so they'll survive splashes, rain, maybe even a clumsy sink drop. But don't take them swimming. So yeah, both phones are solid, but it's glass versus leather, sleek versus soft. You choose your flavor. Now let's flip things open, because the displays on these two are no joke. Samsung's rocking a 6.9-inch AMOLED panel, while Motorola stretches it slightly bigger at 7.0 inches AMOLED. Both are tall, vibrant, and fold beautifully, but size isn't everything. The Flip 7 gives you a higher screen-to-body ratio at 88.7%, while the Razr Ultra sits at around 84.1%, so you're getting slimmer bezels on Samsung's side. Resolution-wise, the Razr hits harder, 1224 by 2912p versus Samsung's 1080 by 2520p. That also means sharper details with 464 pixels per inch compared to Flip's 397 pixels per inch. Razr sharp, literally. And here's the kicker, 165 Hz refresh rate on the Razr. That's buttery smooth compared to Samsung's still great 120 Hz. Brightness? It's a blowout. 4,500 nits on the Razr 60 Ultra versus 2,600 nits on the Flip 7. In sunlight, Motorola wins. No contest. Durability-wise, the Flip's display sits at Mohs level 1 scratch resistance. The Razr? A solid level 5, so yeah, tougher under pressure. Both support HDR10+, but Motorola throws in Dolby Vision 2. Extra punch for Netflix and YouTube lovers. Bottom line, Flip 7 is clean and balanced, but the Razr 60 Ultra, it's going all out on display specs. Sharper, brighter, smoother, and stronger. Alright, that's the main screen. But with flip phones, it's not just what's inside that counts. Let's talk about the outside, the cover displays, because that's where things get even more interesting. Samsung steps up with a 4.1-inch AMOLED cover screen, finally edge-to-edge and way more usable than before. It's got a 948 by 1048p resolution, 120 Hz refresh, and hits 2,600 nits brightness. Super responsive and a huge step up from last year. But Motorola, they're not holding back. The Razr 60 Ultra gives you a 4.0-inch AMOLED, but with a sharper 1272 by 1080p resolution, smoother 160 Hz refresh rate, and a brighter panel at 3000 nits. It's compact, but crazy sharp. In terms of protection, Flip 7 uses Gorilla Glass Victus 2, tough for everyday use. Motorola pushes it further with Gorilla Glass with Ceramic Shield, giving it an edge in durability. Now, here's where Motorola pulls ahead. HDR10+, and even Dolby Vision support on the cover screen. Yeah, full-blown content quality. Yeah, on the outside. Samsung, no HDR support here. So while Samsung finally made the outer screen matter, Motorola made it stunning. Now let's talk software, because flashy hardware is great, but long-term support? That's where things get real. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 launches with Android 16, running Samsung's new One UI 8. Clean, fast, and loaded with smart AI tools and foldable-friendly features. On the other side, the Razr 60 Ultra ships with Android 15, paired with Motorola's lightweight Hello UI. It's snappy and bloat-free, but not quite as feature-rich as Samsung's ecosystem. Here's the real game changer though. Samsung promises 7 years of updates. That's Android versions and security patches. Motorola, just 3 years of updates. Ouch. So if you're planning to keep your phone for the long haul, Samsung clearly wins the software game, no debate. Alright, let's get under the hood, because this is where the real power lives. The Samsung Z Flip 7 features the new Exynos 2500, providing a balance of performance and efficiency. However, the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra comes equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, elevating raw speed to the next level. Both the Samsung Z Flip 7 and Motorola Razr 60 Ultra are built on a cutting-edge 3nm CPU process, making them equally power efficient and fast. The Z Flip 7's Exynos 2500 has 10 cores with mixed speeds, designed for smooth multitasking and better battery life. The Razr 60 Ultra's Snapdragon 8 Elite has 8 super-fast cores built for raw speed and gaming power. The Z Flip 7 comes with the Xclipse 950 GPU, tuned for efficiency and Samsung's custom visual effects, while the Razr 60 Ultra's Adreno 830 delivers higher raw gaming power and smoother 3D performance. On Antutu, the Z Flip 7 scores around 2.23 million, which is fast, but the Razr 60 Ultra pushes ahead with 2.75 million, meaning snappier performance in heavy apps and games. That's a serious lead. Bottom line, Samsung's Exynos is finally back in the game, but Motorola's Snapdragon setup is on another level right now, especially if performance is your priority. Now let's talk memory and storage, because when you're dropping flagship money, you better get flagship specs. Both phones come with LPDDR 5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage, which means lightning-fast app loading, multitasking, and data speeds across the board. Samsung gives you 12 GB of RAM, with storage options at 256 GB or 512 GB, more than enough for most users. But Motorola, they're flexing a little harder, offering 12 GB and even 16 GB RAM for power users, plus storage up to a massive 1 TB. That's laptop-level territory right there. Neither phone supports SD cards, so what you buy is what you're stuck with. And in that case, Motorola gives you more headroom to grow. So if you're a heavy user, content creator, or just want to future-proof your phone, the Razr Ultra has the edge here. Now let's get to what most people really care about, the cameras. Because a flip phone isn't just about looking good, it's about capturing it too. On the Samsung Z Flip 7, you're getting a 50-megapixel main camera with an f1.8 aperture and a 23mm wide lens, perfect for sharp, detailed shots even in lower light. And for wider scenes, there's a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera at 13mm with a massive 123-degree field of view, great for landscapes and group photos. Switching over to the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra, the main sensor is also 50 megapixels at f1.8, but with a slightly narrower 24mm wide lens for a more natural perspective. Where it really shines is the ultra-wide, a 50 megapixel f2.0 lens at 12mm, delivering far more detail and even doubling as a macro camera for close-up shots. On the Samsung Z Flip 7, video recording goes up to 4K at both 30 and 60 frames per second. Meanwhile, the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra pushes the limit with 8K recording at 30 frames per second for incredible clarity. Both phones have OIS, so your footage stays smooth even if your hands aren't. Now flip it over, literally, for the selfies. Samsung gives you a 10 megapixel front camera, decent for video calls and casual shots. But Motorola, they drop a 50 megapixel front shooter, sharp enough for pro-level vlogging and detail-heavy snaps. And yep, both record 4K at 30 or 60 FPS on the front cam too. Folded or unfolded, content creation is covered. So if cameras are a priority, especially for creators, Motorola's setup is looking seriously stacked. Alright, power time. Samsung Z Flip 7 comes with a 4,300 mAh battery, while the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra packs a larger 4,700 mAh battery. Z Flip 7 supports 25-watt wired charging, while the Razr 60 Ultra offers much faster 68-watt wired charging. Z Flip 7 features 15-watt wireless charging, while the Razr 60 Ultra doubles that speed with 30-watt wireless charging. Z Flip 7 supports 4.5-watt reverse wireless charging, while the Razr 60 Ultra offers a slightly faster 5-watt reverse wired charging. Yeah, it's faster, it's juicier, and you'll feel the difference. As expected, both phones are future-proof, with 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and NFC for contactless payments. You're getting the full modern package here. Charging is done via USB-C 3.2 on both, super fast data speeds and solid flexibility. No headphone jack on either side, but both come with stereo speakers, so your sound experience still hits. And for security, both use side-mounted fingerprint scanners with face unlock available too, at least on the Motorola side. Now here's the part that makes or breaks it, the price. The Galaxy Z Flip 7 starts at $1,099, while the Razr 60 Ultra goes up to $1,299. That's a $200 difference. So the real question is, are you paying extra for more specs? Or are you sticking with the foldable formula that just works? The Z Flip 7 is all about refinement, thinner, lighter, and backed by Samsung's unbeatable 7 years of updates. It's the safe bet, polished, premium, and dependable. But the Razr 60 Ultra? That's the wild card. Bigger battery, better display, insane performance, and a camera setup that goes way beyond what we expect from a flip phone. If you want balance and long-term support, go Samsung. But if you're after raw power and flagship-level features in a foldable form, Motorola's bringing the heat. Either way, 2025 is the year of serious flip phones, and honestly, we're here for it. Let me know in the comments, which one are you choosing? The polished Flip 7 or the powerful Razr Ultra? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. More epic tech battles coming your way. Catch you in the next one.